Now on Nightside, an organization that focuses on gang intervention and rehabilitation is expanding into clothing.
Skies have cleared and temperatures are dropping fast. I'll let you know how cold it's going to be when you head out the door Wednesday morning.
The Coeur d'Alene Public School Board could declare a financial emergency. What that could mean for the hundreds of teachers and support staff. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. 300 jobs, 2 elementary schools, 9 security officers, just some of what's on the chopping block for Coeur d'Alene Public Schools. In less than a month, the people of Coeur d'Alene will be voting on a $25 million supplemental levy. It makes up 25% of the Coeur d'Alene School District's budget. And that levy failed in February. Now the district is planning for the worst case scenario if it fails again in May. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Aaron Luna.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. If the Coeur d'Alene School Board declares a financial emergency this week, hundreds of teachers and staff will be searching for new jobs. New on Nightside, our Rania Kaur joins us in studio with what parents are fighting to keep and what a financial emergency actually means for the district. Rania.
Aaron, Kirsten, today the school board in a special meeting gathered public comment in hopes someone from the community would come up with a solution to save money if that levy doesn't pass in May. For many, the solution was simple. There's no choice but to pass the levy. For others, the suggestion was for the district to make cuts, something the school board is already preparing to do. In a packed room, heated and passionate parents and community members took the stand.
If this would have passed by one vote, we wouldn't be here.
Mary Hamilton is pleading for Bora Elementary to stay open.
Previously, we were told that our daughter's needs couldn't be met at another school. In a sense, we were counseled out. Which school received us with open arms? Bora.
Hoping it's not one of the 2 elementary schools that closes if this latest $25 million supplemental levy in Coeur d'Alene fails in May.
When deciding to close an elementary school, please consider equity.
Cutting more than 300 Coeur d'Alene school employees is something the board is preparing to do. On Friday, Dr. Sean Hawker, superintendent for Coeur d'Alene Schools, says the board will likely declare a financial emergency.
And at that juncture, sometime the next week, our intent is to inform our employees that perhaps might be getting the notice that they would not be able to return to the school district next year.
He says they want to give the staff being fired ample time to search for a new job during hiring season.
Reality is, if the levy fails, there's going to be a lot of staff leave, even the ones that we might not want to leave.
It also protects the Coeur d'Alene School District.
We might be protecting ourselves a little bit from the 75%. Maybe they'll know that they don't necessarily have to leave unless they want to.
It's the reason why this meeting to brainstorm ideas for the worst possible scenario, many are hoping for the best.
Closing Bora might be the easiest with one of the lowest numbers in the district and also having the least amount of pushback. However, these are the students in our district who need a neighborhood school the most.
On Thursday, Superintendent Sean Hawker says they'll know how much money the state will be giving Coeur d'Alene schools. Then Friday is the day the board will decide to declare a financial emergency. 4 News Now will be following the story and keeping you informed on the future of Coeur d'Alene schools. In studio, I'm Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
It is a cold night across the region. We've already dropped below freezing in Deer Park, Spirit Lake, and Meade. 31 degrees right now in Spangle. Around the region, we find temperatures below freezing or at freezing at Sandpoint. It's 30 degrees in Pullman, still in the 40s in Lewiston, but that is one of the exceptions. Overnight lows tonight will be down in the 20s in many spots, 30 in Lewiston. That's the only location where we have a freeze warning in effect for tonight because the growing season is already underway. We're not quite there in Spokane, and thank goodness, because we'll be down in the 20s in most locations. Only Liberty Lake, Post Falls, and Coeur d'Alene staying in the 30s. Meanwhile, skies have cleared across the region after some showers and isolated thunderstorms earlier today down around Rock Lake, also around Moses Lake. We had some thunderstorm activity. Will be cold tomorrow morning. Here are 4 things to know about your forecast. Some afternoon showers possible again, falling in a variety of forms: rain, snow, graupel, below average temperatures continue. I'll let you know how much longer this cool, showery weather is going to last coming up in your 7-day forecast. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. Well, just minutes ago, the Liberty Lake City Council decided to table a vote on an ordinance that would give them the power to decide what books are allowed on the shelves at local libraries. Right now, a 5-person board oversees those changes at the library. This ordinance would give the City Council power to override the board's decision if there is enough community backlash. Tonight, they talked about changing the language of the ordinance, but after a 5-hour-long meeting, the council voted to defer the final decision until next month. A similar debate at a library in Nebraska over a book called "This Book is Gay."
The majority of the board agreed the book made them uncomfortable.
Struggling with how a person who can still order from the children's menu could read about some of the things that I think are very mature content.
Some members weren't so sure.
It's going to be hard if everybody who picks on one particular item decides to start banning a lot of the books that are offered.
The board voted unanimously to move the book from the young adult section to the adult section. People that want the book to stay say they're disappointed but accept the compromise, saying LGBTQ youth need it as they try to figure out their identities.
2 teenagers in Iowa entered guilty pleas today to charges of first-degree murder in the death of a 66-year-old high school teacher. According to court documents, Willard Miller and Jeremy Goodale admitted to killing Spanish teacher Noema Graber after she gave Miller a bad grade. Miller claims he and Goodale planned the murder together, but Goodale told the court Miller did the planning.
Did you know that Jeremy intended to kill Mrs. Graber?
Yes. Shaden had brought a bat, among other supplies, to go through with the murder. And after he had struck Noema Graber, we then moved her off of the trail.
Graber's body was hidden under a tarp, wheelbarrow, and railroad ties. Both teens said they served as a lookout while the other carried out the murder. The boys are charged as adults due to the severity of the crime. They will be sentenced at a later date.
Fox News will pay Dominion Voting Systems more than $787 million over statements made on air about the company and the 2020 presidential election results. While that case is over, Fox News is still facing a second major defamation lawsuit from Smartmatic. Smartmatic says Dominion's lawsuit exposed some of the misconduct and damage caused by Fox's disinformation campaign, and Smartmatic will expose the rest. Smartmatic said it remains committed to clearing its name, recouping what it calls the significant damage done to the company, and holding Fox accountable for undermining democracy. Smartmatic is suing for $2.7 billion.
The Montana governor is deciding whether to sign a bill banning TikTok in the entire state. The bill would ban the app stores from offering TikTok to Montana users, but the bill is raising questions about First Amendment rights that will likely go to court if the governor signs the bill into law. There are growing calls from U.S. lawmakers to ban TikTok over concerns about Chinese government influence.
And the historic season for the Seattle Kraken is a step closer to a storybook ending. I'm Julian Minnesome. Seattle is making its first playoff appearance in franchise history. And in the organization's first playoff game, the team showed up big. Seattle defeated the reigning champion Colorado Avalanche 3-1 in Game 1 of the NHL playoffs tonight. The Kraken saw goals from Ellie Tolvanen, Alex Wenberg, and Morgan Geekie. Game 2 of this best-of-7 series is at 6:30 Thursday night in Denver, and we'll take a deeper dive into the Kraken's big victory and the chances of Seattle actually winning the series against Colorado. That's coming up later in sports. Live in the studio, Julian Minnesome. 4 News Now Sports.
Julian, thank you. A California organization that focuses on gang intervention and rehabilitation is expanding into recycling clothing. Homeboy Threads wants to keep cloth and clothing out of landfills while also providing jobs to people who were in jail or gang affiliated. People who work with Homeboy says it's so much more than a job.
I came to Homeboy Industry 17 years ago, and I look at my family now and I'm like, this is unbelievable. My mom's sober, my brothers, my kids are non-gang members. I come from generational gangs, grandfather, father, myself, and this stopped everything, and I thank God for that. I say Homeboy Industries is a miracle factory.
Homeboy Threads is trying to help global apparel companies like Reformation bridge the gap between sustainability and environmental health.
Coming up on Nightside, an unexpected partnership between YouTube and the National Eating Disorder Association.
Watch us tonight, tax-free. Lionel and Katie are going to sing at King Charles's coronation, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what a coronation was. I thought it was a form of like condensed milk or something. You know? But
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Colville Toyota.
In the market for an RV? Do not buy any RV before you shop Click It RV. Because Click It RV has just acquired over 300 2022 fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and motorhomes. And every one is just $199 over invoice. And take advantage of 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and low interest financing. Plus guaranteed lowest price and lifetime warranty. So don't miss the Click It RV Do Not Buy sale. Going on now at all 5 locations, including right here in Spokane.
Spring into action and take your adventures to the next level with Northwest Motorsport. Fuel your next adventure at nwmsrocks.com/spring. Find the keys to your next adventure at Northwest Motorsport.
New tonight on Kimmel.
It's tax day today. Tonight I'm claiming you all as dependents.
From American Idol, Luke Bryan.
30 #1 singles.
You like that, don't you?
Plus Jeff Hiller and music from Glorilla. Jimmy Kimmel Live. New tonight on ABC.
I'm Chad Young from the Easy Home Buyer, and I pay cash for houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast for cash, call us today for your no-obligation as-is cash offer. We buy houses in any condition, and there are no fees, no commissions, and no repairs. We buy houses with tenants, fixer-uppers, bare land, even haunted houses. Woo! Call us today or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is where you're with the ones you love. Home isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, we're proud to call our communities home. And we're here with personalized home loans to help make your home dreams come true. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
4 News Now is brought to you by Perfection Tire.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. 84-year-old Missouri homeowner Andrew Lester is now charged with felony assault in the shooting of Ralph Yarl.
The 16-year-old was shot after mistakenly showing up at the wrong home. If convicted, the homeowner faces life in prison. But Yarl's family says they are shocked the homeowner is not facing more serious charges.
He chose to fire 2 shots into this human being. That's something that most people would assume might cause their death, and it seems like attempted murder.
According to the arrest warrant, after Yarl rang the doorbell, Lester shot him in the head through the glass door and then again in the arm. Authorities say there's no indication the two ever exchanged words. And in a shockingly similar incident in New York, 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis was killed when authorities say she mistakenly showed up at the wrong home while driving with friends in a rural area. 65-year-old Kevin Monahan charged with second-degree murder. The sheriff says Gillis was beloved in her community and that her life was taken too soon. Her friends saying she will be deeply missed.
The FDA has approved additional doses of bivalent COVID-19 vaccine boosters for certain vulnerable individuals. Now seniors and certain people with weakened immunity can get additional doses before this fall's vaccination campaigns.
I love today's time lapse looking to the west from our station here at 500 West Boone Avenue. As you can see all of the passing showers we saw today, rain, snow, graupel, and then some clearing and sunshine, breezy winds. We saw just about everything. And we'll see the same tomorrow, but not on quite the scale that we saw today. A few more isolated showers and not as prevalent. Clearing skies tonight. That is going to allow our temperature to drop. Winds will be dying down for a calmer day tomorrow. A high of 51 degrees, still not quite up to our average high in the upper 50s. Possibility of afternoon showers. They're most likely over the mountains. Our Wednesday high temperatures across the region, 40s in Pullman, St. Mary's, Kellogg, and Sandpoint. Mostly we're seeing highs in the 50s. Again, a little bit warmer than it was today. Our forecast radar will be clear overnight. Few clouds moving in by tomorrow morning, and then we'll start to see those showers redeveloping in the afternoon. Here's 1 o'clock. In a variety of forms. Wouldn't rule out an isolated rumble of thunder, very much like what we saw today. And then we will start clearing out again for another cold night. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Down around 30 tomorrow night. High temperature of 52 on Thursday. Looks like we'll get a break in the wet weather with high pressure building in briefly. More rain showers possible on Friday into a dry Saturday. And then the best chance of rain through the 7-day forecast comes on Sunday. That's also going to be the warmest day, that and Tuesday, of our forecast. Almost up to average. Our average high by the weekend will be in the 60s. And there's hints that we may be seeing some more 60-degree weather in the extended forecast. Some changes in the 8 to 14-day outlook. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Thank you, Chris. A new congressional report points to an accidental lab leak as the most likely origin of the COVID-19 pandemic that's killed nearly 7 million people.
It suggests that it could have been more than one. The report, released by Republicans on the Senate Health Subcommittee, makes a circumstantial case that sometime before September 2019, an undetected leak at the Wuhan Institute of Virology occurred, causing lab workers to be infected with COVID. Then investigators believe another biosafety event may have happened while Chinese researchers were attempting to develop a vaccine. But some virus experts claim this is just one of many theories. YouTube is working with the National Eating Disorder Association on new regulations to limit content that promotes eating disorders.
Making changes to its site, including blocking some content that may promote eating disorders, such as describing behaviors like calorie restriction that could be interpreted as a how-to guide, restricting kids under 18 from seeing videos discussing disordered eating, and adding information under videos from mental health support groups. The company, which says it had over 1.4 billion views on mental health content in the U.S. in 2021. Also working with NIDA to produce a YouTube video series on eating disorder information.
More than 1 million women in the U.S. go through menopause every year, according to the National Institutes of Health. Symptoms can last years and may have a major impact on your quality of life. Lori Lane was experiencing menopause when she says a blood test revealed her testosterone was low, which made her a candidate for a procedure where a low dose of testosterone is delivered through a pellet injected under the skin during a quick in-office visit. Lane says she started seeing results within days, and she's back to feeling like herself again.
I'd say I'm functioning in all cylinders.
There's a little bit of risk behind estrogen. There's no risk behind testosterone. So it's a safe hormone.
The testosterone pellet procedure is not currently FDA approved, but the doctor who you just heard from says it's providing relief to many of his patients. He says the testosterone pellet procedure isn't typically covered by insurance. The treatment ends up being between $80 and $100 a month.
A bald eagle who is a wannabe dad just had his dream come true. That's next on Nightside.
Later tonight on Nightline, the major settlement between Fox News and Dominion Voting Systems. New details in the shooting of a black teenager who stopped at the wrong house as his community demands justice.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Bill's Heating and Air, your locally owned, factory direct and voted #1 HVAC contractor, wants to become your go-to heating and air conditioning company. We offer free estimates and next-day installs. And now, we will beat any and all written estimates from any other licensed contractor. Yeah, you heard right. We will beat any other written estimate. Oh, and did I mention we have a 10-year parts and labor guarantee? Call now for your free estimate.
Snow melting, birds chirping, it's time to celebrate spring. Now's the best time to visit Jacobs Custom Living. New furniture has arrived for spring, and we really have the largest and most varied inventory ever. Comfortable lounge furniture, elegant outdoor dining sets, umbrellas, and much more. Take it home today if you're ready, or get free storage until May. Special spring clearance pricing on select items throughout the store. Come celebrate spring at Jacobs Custom Living on Sprague, just east of Sullivan.
Performance. It's what powers the 2023 family of Mazda CUVs. With standard I-Active all-wheel drive and an available turbo engine. Helping you take performance further.
With effortless power and the reliability of I-Active all-wheel drive, Mazda CUVs are built for the Pacific Northwest. Take a test drive today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see all that you are? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you. Kaiser Permanente.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXOY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
4 News Now is brought to you by Floor Trader Outlet.
Thanks for staying up with us. A ground stop for all Southwest Airlines flights earlier today has been lifted. The Federal Aviation Administration paused the flights at the airline's request over, quote, equipment issues. Southwest said there were data connection issues resulting from a firewall failure. The flight tracking website FlightAware said by midday, more than 1,500 of the airline's flights, about 1/3, were delayed. 11 Southwest flights at Spokane International Airport were delayed.
Temperatures today running between 5 and 10 degrees below average around the region, only in the 40s for our high today. 57 is our average high, 7:44 our sunset time these days. We are going to be up in the 50s through the 7-day forecast, but running below average, particularly through the first part of the weekend. We'll be down in the lower 50s for the most part, warming up a little bit for Sunday with a high of 59, and we'll be just below average Monday and Tuesday, but there are indications now showing up in the 8 to 14-day forecast that we may finally be getting some warmer weather. Growing confidence for above average temperatures for parts of the western United States, April 26th through the first couple days of May, and below average precipitation. That has been no problem. We are running a little more than 2 inches below average year to date for our precipitation. That said, we are seeing some nice high rivers in levels in the rivers. This picture is our pick of the night tonight from Lynn O'Neill. She captured this image yesterday along upriver. You can see plenty of snow left to melt in the mountains, but it is already happening and those river levels are picking up. The falls look especially beautiful right now, but those falls will really get going in the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's a busy time of year in the inland Northwest. Thanks, Neil, for the great photo. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. Well, production of many of your favorite shows and movies could soon come to a screeching halt. The Writers Guild of America voting to strike if a labor deal isn't reached by the end of the month.
The unfortunate nature of our business is that everything that the Writers Guild has achieved, minimum compensation, pension and health benefits, residuals, has all come from either a strike or the real threat of one.
The WGA says the rise of streaming and the shortening of traditional TV seasons are making it difficult for members to make a living wage. The Alliance of Motion Pictures released a statement reading in part, quote, "Our goal is and continues to be to reach a fair and reasonable agreement." If the writers do go on strike, though, the results could lead to major delays across Hollywood.
What you're looking at is sort of shows that you are anticipating a season coming up with in the next few months could be delayed as much as a year, if not more, depending on how the strike plays out.
The Supreme Court heard arguments on a case that could clarify how far companies must go to accommodate their employees' religious beliefs. The case centers around Gerald Groff, a U.S. postal worker who requested not to work Sundays because of his religious beliefs. USPS tried to accommodate him. Groff ultimately quit his job and sued. The Postal Service said accommodating Groff's religious beliefs created a significant burden on his coworkers and its operations, and that Groff's job explicitly required him to work Sundays. Groff sued under Title VII, a federal rule that makes it unlawful to discriminate against an employee based on his religion. Coming up in sports, how the Seattle Kraken were able to pull off the upset in their first playoff game. That's next on Nightside.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Tin Roof.
Did Meredith send you to check on me?
Why do I need to check on you?
Pretty much been abandoned by everyone. You're her husband, and you let your ego destroy what was once true love.
It never stops ringing. It's relentless. I just hope the lunatics move on before I have a second heart attack. I'm Dr. Bailey.
Been looking forward to meeting you. How's the new place?
Make a move in the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet. Like the CR-V and Accord, with available hybrid powertrains designed for more responsive performance. Get up and I go! And more advanced tech. When you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2022 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. Get moving and find the Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Hey, Greens. How's everything going today?
Hey, Robert. We're good. Just checking in on that car loan we applied for.
No worries. Let me pull that up. Yep. Looks like you're approved and all set.
Hey, that's great news.
So, you headed over to the dealership now?
Yep. Just gotta make one stop first. And we got a great rate, too.
Right now, lease a new 2022 GMC Sierra for just $347 a month. That's right, just $347 a month. The all-wheel drive Sierra features a 2.7-liter turbo high-output engine, best-in-class crew cab with tons of front head and legroom, cutting-edge technology, and the dependability and craftsmanship of a GMC truck. Come see the selection of new Sierras just off I-90 at George G. Buick GMC, the top volume GMC Buick dealer in Washington State.
Well, all it took was 2 seasons for the Seattle Kraken to give fans in the Northwest a taste of playoff hockey. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minitzel. The Kraken are making their first postseason appearance in franchise history, an accomplishment the organization will remember for a very long time. Seattle's reward for making the playoffs, the defending champion Colorado Avalanche. Game 1 of the Western Conference playoffs between Seattle and Colorado. The Kraken came into this series as the underdog, but they weren't scared. Ellie Tolvanen puts the Kraken on the board first after an early mistake by the Avs. Colorado turns over the puck in their own zone, and it's 1-0 Seattle. But Colorado has 2 of the best goal scorers in the league. Mikko Rantanen is one of them. Rantanen tips it in, and it's tied at 1. Now, early moments of the second period, it'll be Seattle with the possession. They'll be pushing it up the ice right here. Alex Wenberg with the wrister one time, and Kraken, they retake the lead 2-1. Now to the third period we go. Seattle still leading by a goal. Check this out right here. The puck will go right in front of the net and make it 2 goals. Morgan Geekie for the score. And in their first playoff game ever, the Kraken defeat the reigning champs. 3-1 is the final. Seattle takes a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. Game 2 is Thursday at 6:30 in Denver. Gonzaga and Washington State baseball play 3 times this season. The Bulldogs won the first meeting last month in Spokane. The Cougars looking for some revenge. We go to the 6th inning in this one. Washington State already leading 4-1. Gonzaga has runners in scoring position, but peep the play by Cougars shortstop Kyle Russell. Russell with a diving stop to save a run. To the 8th inning we go. Still 4-1 Cougars. Bases loaded for Gonzaga's Sam Stem. Stem pokes it into left field. A run scores, and it's 4-2. 4-2. Bases still loaded. 2 outs. Washington State's McCabe Cottrell fires one past Donovan Ratfield. Cottrell lets out a victory screech, and that'll do it. Cougars deliver some serious payback. 4-2 is the final score. The Seattle Mariners hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. The Mariners dropped the series opener last night, and tonight didn't start off any better. Christian Yelich puts the Brewers on the board first with the opposite field home run. But hey, Seattle rallied. Bottom of the 10th we go. Tying run on third for the Mariners. Ty France pops one into center field. The sac fly is in play. Now there's going to be a bang-bang play at the plate right here. The throw to the plate is not in time. Colton Wong slides under the tag, and we are tied at 5. Game continues. 11th inning. Runners at the corners for Milwaukee. Willie Adames with a slow roller to third. The only plays at first base. That's going to score a run. The Brewers retake the lead. Bottom of the 11th now. Bases loaded for Seattle's Julio Rodriguez. Looking to be a hero, but he hits it onto the ground. Mariners losing extra innings. 6-5 is the final there. The Mariners will look to avoid the sweep tomorrow. Washington State basketball may have landed the best-kept secret in the entire country. Sonoma State's Jalen Wells will be transferring to WSU. Wells was a Division II All-American at Sonoma State, where he was named the Player of the Year in the California Collegiate Athletic Association. The 6'7" Wells also led the league in scoring and rebounds, and you can never have too much of that. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Thursday live on GMA. Go with Ginger to one of the most crystal clear bodies of water anywhere and face to face with the most gentle giants. And see a stunning release back into the wild you won't forget. Thursday only on Good Morning America.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
I had a lot of bad days with gout, but that one took the wedding cake. Even with medicine, my uric acid was still too high to stop painful gout buildup. Then a gout specialist told me about Cristexa.
Cristexa is a prescription medicine for adults with gout whose symptoms are not controlled by other gout medicines.
I learned Cristexa quickly starts working to break down gout buildup.
Cristexa is an infused medicine. Serious life-threatening allergic reactions can occur while taking Cristexa. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as shortness of breath, trouble breathing, dizziness, itching, or swelling of the throat or tongue. Cristexa is not recommended if you have high levels of uric acid without a history of gout. Do not take Cristexa if you have a rare disorder called G6PD deficiency or phavism. Before receiving Cristexa, tell your doctor if you have a history of heart problems and all the medicines you take. Cristexa may cause gout flare-ups, allergic reactions, nausea, bruising, sore throat, constipation, chest pain, and vomiting.
I received Cristexa for about 6 months. Now I'm in control, not gout.
Find a doctor who specializes in gout at goutdocnow.com.
Look at this baseball field and this one. How about this one? Which one is next for a 4 News Now Extreme Team Diamonds and Dreams makeover? How about yours? Go to KXLY.com and tell us why your field deserves a makeover. Diamonds and Dreams brought to you by your hometown Chevy dealers and Horizon Credit Union.
From the Spokane River to the Snake River Dam, nationally and worldwide, what are the biggest threats to the water we all rely on, and what's being done to protect it? Watch The Power of Water, a special all-day event Thursday on ABC News and 4 News Now.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Tomorrow is going to be just a little bit warmer, still below average, high of 51, but in the morning it is going to be quite cool, and we do have a chance of a few isolated showers in the afternoon once again.
All right, how about a sweet bald eagle daddy named Murphy? He's at the World Bird Sanctuary in Missouri, and he's making headlines because he thought that a rock in his enclosure was an egg. So he was sitting on it for stretches, kind of waiting on it to hatch. And the internet fell in love with him because they were calling him a wannabe dad. And they asked the sanctuary, that makes me sad.
I know, right?
So they asked the sanctuary to swap his rock out with a real chick, and that's what they did. So now an injured orphaned eaglet has now become the baby of Murphy, and the pair have been bonding ever since. I just love that story. It's gonna make me cry. Look at the two of them. They're so sweet.
I love that.
Way to go, Dad.
Oh. Amazing creatures.
Yeah.
I'm not the stepdad, the dad that stepped up.
His little shirt.
I'm not sure that was a real shirt.
No. Might have been Photoshopped. Can't put a shirt on a bald eagle.
I don't know.